Hi, I'm Dave Poles.
And I'm Danielle Lewis.
Welcome to our Community Conversations podcast.
In our series of conversations, we will be spotlighting individuals and organizations who are doing fantastic things in Peoria County.
We'll be highlighting who they are, what they do, where you can find them, and even how you can help.
In today's episode, we're thrilled to have Julie, Alexandra, and Patrick join us from Neighborhood House.
Just really appreciate you taking some time out of your, and I know, very busy schedules. So first of all, and I guess from either Patrick, Alexandra, or Julie, could you give us a brief summary of Neighborhood House and what we're looking at, the organization in general?
Yeah, so Neighborhood House has a 128-year history serving the south side of Peoria. We started out on Washington Street, moved to Adams, and have been in our current location since 1970 on Matthew Street. I think one of the greatest things about Neighborhood House is our programs continue to ebb and flow with the changing needs of the community. What I always say about Neighborhood House is that we do three things. We feed, we educate, and we empower. And neither Alex, Patrick, nor myself were at Neighborhood House at the beginning of COVID, but we all came in late 2021 to early 2022 when there still was Omicron and things like that going on. But from our understanding is that when everything shut down in 2020, our thought and our hope was that our learners, whether it be our adult literacy and GED learners or our youth program, that they would be able to continue virtually the activities and programs we were offering. But we quickly learned that it went back to those initial needs of feeding. And so in addition to feeding with Meals on Wheels, like we do for our homebound senior neighbors, we were then delivering to the youth in our after school program, because even though the schools were all offering like meal pickup, it wasn't always accessible for some of the families that we serve. And so we were delivering a hot meal every day. We were delivering a food pantry box each week for the family. And then we also were providing activities for the youth that they could do at home on their own. So some of the different types of things that they would have been doing if they were in person.
Wow, that's a lot. Neighborhood House is truly an integral part of our community too. If you were to take Neighborhood House and put it like a slogan on a van or something, what would that one sentence be?
It would be those three words: feed,
Okay.
educate, empower.
What are some of the most impactful initiatives your organization is involved with?
So if it's okay, I'll take the lead on this one. So
Please.
so we try to meet the community where it is. As Julie mentioned, we have a long, very strong history in the community of meeting the community where it is and with what it needs. And so currently our programming, we have a very robust youth program. We provide after school programming to youth in the area. It is completely free of charge to the families. But we do provide transportation from select schools within District 150. And Patrick, our youth director, does an excellent job of providing programming for the children or for the students when they're here with us. That after school program runs until 5:30 p.m. Monday through Friday, unless the District 150 is out of school for a break, in which case our programming times would change. But we work on helping the kids with homework. We have assessments that the kids complete on computers so that we can identify areas of weakness as well as areas of strength. Patrick does a great job as well of getting the kids involved in various community events and things going on in the community. They visit the library at least once weekly. They participate in a cooking program called Kids Chef. So we're trying to assist the kids in building and developing those life skills that are necessary. We also have a commitment to bringing in people, influencers from the community who may come in and meet with the kids to help build their awareness and support them. And so that's been wonderful to see. So we have our youth program. We also have our adult literacy and GED program, which targets members of the community who are interested in fulfilling those goals, for themselves. Recently, we've seen an uptick in students who are younger, so 17, 18-year-old students who are disillusioned with their school environment and would prefer to simply come to us, get those classes done, and test out. We provide classes and support to anybody of any age looking to fulfill one of those goals, whether it be literacy improvement or GED. We have our Meals on Wheels program, which provides close to 1,000 meals daily to Peoria and Tazewell counties. We provide a hot meal that is approved by a registered dietitian. We also provide frozen meals. So for someone who may need an evening or weekend meal, we provide frozen meals as well for those individuals. On top of that, our Meals on Wheels program has an additional branch, which is our congregate meals that are situated throughout the communities in Tazewell and Peoria counties. And basically, it's our Meals on Wheels program, but instead of delivering the meals to a person's home, it is bringing the hot food to a place in the community, such as a church or a community center, where seniors 60 and older can come and congregate and socialize. We know that in our community, as well as many others, that social isolation and loneliness is wreaking havoc on our senior neighbors. And so we aim to help with that. And so our congregate sites are a way that we do that. We provide a hot meal, good conversation, and we also try to provide additional supports during those times when we have seniors with us. So we might provide resources for other opportunities within the community for them, other options that they may need. And then additionally, we have our community outreach. So that consists of our food pantry, which operates the second and fourth Thursday of the month. And we are open to the public from 10 a.m. until 12 p.m. on those days. We also have a Sunday meals program. So every Sunday we open our door from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. and offer a hot lunch for anybody in the community who would like to come in for a hot lunch. We partner with community organizations who are interested in providing that hot food to the community. And we open our doors here, provide the space and a staff member, and the community brings in the food for us. So it's a great service that we provide in tandem with many community organizations. We have seasonal programming as well. So we have our coat drive, which was very successful in October. We gave away a little over 300 coats. We have a Santa for Seniors program. So every year we deliver a gift bag to seniors in our community. We typically deliver around 1,000 gifts, and we do that on a Sunday. It's completely volunteer driven, and that's very successful. We also have Angel
No.
Tree. Angel Tree is basically we have children sign up. They could be children who are participants through our youth program, or we also have Big Brothers Big Sisters that rent space from us upstairs in our building. And so we have a lot of their participants. And so what we do is we have the kids and their families sign up. And then we have community members, donors, people in the community who are interested in adopting that child or family for the holiday. And they will be given a list of likes and dislikes for that child and be able to make some purchases for some gifts.
I think probably my favorite program is a component of our youth program, which is our art and music. And, Dave, we
I've
talked
seen it. It's
earlier about how
wonderful.
you've seen the artwork. And if you go on social media, we have video of our youth teaching Mark Roberts from the Community Foundation how to polka dance. And so they're dancing around the basement at Neighborhood House, listening to polka music. And it was really a fun time. It was fun for the youth. They really love having adults come in and show an interest in what they're doing. But it was also fun for us as adults to be there.
That's great. There's so much you've mentioned. So here's a real simple. How does somebody access your resources? Let's say somebody's listening to this, or maybe they know of somebody. What's the best way to access all the things you talked about?
I would say just calling our front
Okay.
desk and then getting sent to the appropriate individual. We do have people that send us, social media, like through Facebook Messenger, and those
Sure.
get forwarded on to the director. I know, Patrick, maybe you want to talk a little bit about some of the connections you have with recruiting students from the different schools and things like that.
We do K through 15. So a lot of our recruiting is actually done with word of mouth between parents. I get phone calls from different parents because someone has said something to them about it. We have had the Big Brothers Big Sisters make mention to some of the individuals they serve. So once that a referral is made and the person calls, then they just come in and just fill out the application. That's really the biggest step, is filling out the application. Once that's done, we accept everybody. We really don't turn anybody away. So once that application is filled out, depending on the availability as far as the school is concerned, the parent just notifies the school that if it's one of the schools that we pick up from, we pick up from Elsie Ford and Annie Jo Gordon. So if it's one of those two schools, then they notify the school that child will be riding a van. And the schools are very familiar with us. We park in the same spot every day, so they know where the van is. And if it's an older child, they just come to the van. If it's one of the younger ones, sometimes they'll have an escort from the school to bring them out to the van. And then if they don't attend one of the schools that we do pick up from, a parent usually drops them off after they get out of the school. So our teachers start getting here at 2 o'clock to go pick up. Kids start getting dropped off 2:45, something like that, depending on how long it takes a parent to pick them up from school. And then we run through 5:30. There's a gamut of things that just depending on what's going on in a particular day for the kids as far as activities once they actually get here. We usually start off the day trying to do homework help. We try to do some kind of educational worksheet, something to help try to build skills as far as reading, math, and those things are concerned. We do journal every day. So if it's not a free, like a free journal where they can just write about whatever they want to write about, then there's some specific subject matter that we give to them. I've been trying to tie everything together the last couple of months. So on Mondays, we do what I call Mentor Monday. And there's a curriculum that I've been using from overcoming conflict. So I pull that lesson off, and those lessons are done each Monday. But as the week progresses, Tuesday, the first half of the day after they get done with homework, they'll do some sort of activity that's related to whatever the subject matter is for that Monday. Then Wednesday, Thursday, I try to have them do some sort of role playing that's connected with it. Like we've been dealing with conflict. So everything this week has been dealing with conflict, whether it's how to handle your emotions, how to de-escalate a situation, or whatever the case has been. It's been all related the entire week. So Thursdays, the second half of the day, we do what's called Kids Chef. They will make some sort of snack. And we are in the process of trying to get a full kitchen built in one of our classrooms so we can actually do more hands-on actual cooking with the kids. So we're, seeking grants and other means by which to get that accomplished. Tuesdays, like was mentioned, we go to the library. They do STEM activities and some or whatever that the library would have for them to do during that period. But it's a real easy process, just filling out that application. Once that application is finished, then we work as quickly as possible to get that child started in the program.
Hey, wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yes.
I was just going to add too that if anybody, you can also always go onto our website to submit an inquiry as well. So if anybody has questions or would like to just find out more about our programming, if you're interested in volunteering or participating in a different way, please reach out to us because we'd love to partner with anybody. And our website is also a great place where you might make an inquiry.
As anybody listening today can hear, this is some great work. And I don't think the one thing that's come to mind as I was listening to all three of you is that I don't think there's any segment of our population that's not touched by Neighborhood House. Can you think of one instant, doesn't have to be a name or whatever, where you guys really made a continued difference? Now, I'm gonna open this a little bit with something I saw firsthand. I loved that the coat drive. I could tell the gratitude in the eyes of a few families that came through, and I know to me that is a phenomenal day. So that's my contribution. Do you have some others that might stick in your mind from this past year?
We had a young man that came to our program and he was 12 years old. I was surprised when Patrick told me that he was 12 because he often hung around much younger youth in the program. And he mostly hung around, girls that were younger. Well, come to find out, he had been taken from his family and was moved into a foster home. And he came to our program and he was sad. He missed his younger sisters. And I think that's probably why he gravitated towards some of those, younger students. We assessed him and found that although he was 12, he was reading at a first grade level. And he finally broke down and confessed to one of the teachers that he would often get made fun of at school because he didn't know how to pronounce certain words and he couldn't read, at an appropriate age level. And obviously he was, scared being in a new place with a new family and all of that. And so the teachers dug in and started working with him. One of our teachers would take him outside and let him just air any of his, whatever was on his heart and on his mind, things he needed to get out
Mhm.
to talk about. Another teacher made flashcards and worked with him on those. And then they would play games to make learning fun. And even the other kids got involved in helping him, and they would play hangman, and they would pick words that they knew that he would be able to read. And we found that in just 2 months, his reading level went from a first grade to a third grade level, which was phenomenal.
That's wonderful.
We also saw him develop into more of the young man that he was, like for his age. And what's really special to me is he had said to me, well, I'm going to paint you something. I'm going to paint you a picture in art, because he knew that several of the other students had art that they had painted specifically for me. The youth in our art program, if they donate their painting to Neighborhood House, they're then given an art kit that they can take home. Many of them don't have, all those types of supplies to do drawing and coloring and things like that. And so many of our youth donate their paintings so that they can be hung around the building and they can show them off. But this young man, he had been in our program for a couple months and he hadn't finished a single painting. And in 1 week, he made me the most beautiful painting, which was in my old office. But then after that, he went on to do some even more just amazing, amazing paintings. And one of them is actually the screensaver on my computer. But it's just beautiful seeing how much our art teacher has been able to get out of these youth, but also just seeing him develop in confidence and really feel comfortable in his own skin, because he was really making great progress.
So, people listening to this, how can they best support your mission?
There's so many ways that people
Okay.
can get involved. There's ways of, giving of their time. On a quarterly basis, we try to have mentors come in and talk a little bit about their career, their adult life with our youth program. Our literacy and GED program is totally run by volunteers. We have a director, but all of the teachers and the one-on-one tutors are volunteers. So we're always looking for that. And you may think, well, what can I like? That's not, maybe if teaching wasn't your thing. Like I come from education, so that's my thing. But it's working sometimes with adults on just learning sight words, 2 and 3 letter words. And we provide the training for that as well. It's coming in with Meals on Wheels and maybe helping to package out food into single serving sizes. You get a case of, let's say, Hawaiian rolls. Well, each client's going to get one, so they all have to be bagged separately. So those are some tasks that individuals that maybe just want to be able to sit and do something, you can just sit and do that. Our food pantry could always use help. But if time isn't something that people have that they can give, you can always donate online. You can donate specifically to any one of our programs or just a general donation as well. And you also can attend any of our different fundraising events. Our next big one is coming up on February 27th. It's our food fight. Again, it starts with feeding before we educate and empower. And so 10 local chefs will be given a mystery bag of items and 45 minutes to compete to see who can come up with the best dish. And that is just a really fun event. If you haven't ever been, it's definitely something to check out, because you're going to have 10 of the best chefs in Peoria. And prior to the competition, they're going to have tables set out of tasting bites that they've made. And you just go and sample off of all of their tables. And all of them are really on board with helping to raise money for Neighborhood House.
It sounds to me like going to your website, correct? Would be a
Yes.
great way to see all these events, all these links. The numbers are on there. Again, website is
nhpeoria.org.
my goodness gracious. There's so many good things going on at Neighborhood House, all the programs involved. All three of you are to be commended. I got to tell you, from me just listening today, overwhelmed at the impact you're having on our community from youth all the way to senior citizens. Please connect to Neighborhood House. Again, Patrick, Julie, and Alex, thank you so much for joining us today, telling us about all the good things that are happening at Neighborhood House. We're lucky to have you here. Thanks for
Sounds
all the
great.
work you're doing.